ובדירה אני רואה את עומר פעם ראשונה, וזו פעם ראשונה שהייתה לי קצת הקלה מהרגע שפגשתי את המחבלים.
So after they finished, they again put him on a gurney, covered him with sheets, and then he noticed that they're not moving and they're just standing above him and praying over him like he's a dead body. So he understood that he can't not only move, he can't breathe, he can't make a sound, he can't do anything. Otherwise, people around them will understand that it's an Israeli or someone, and they could hurt him. And then they took him to a car and they drove him to an apartment. That's where he met Omer again. And when he saw Omer, he felt a little relief that, okay, there is Omer, I know him, at least we are together. And I arrived there 30 minutes later.
I'm honestly speechless right now. I can't even imagine how you got through that and the faith that you had and the bravery and the courage. To transition, can you talk to us a little bit about, moving on past that, what was daily life like in Gaza?
אנחנו בעצם, מהיום הראשון שם, אני ועומר בחדר סגור, 4 קירות, נעולים. אין לנו שום דבר חוץ מלדבר אחד עם השני.
Since day one, Itay and Omer were together the whole time, 24/7. They had nothing else to do besides sit with each other and just talk. They had no radio, no TV, no newspaper, nothing. Just them, 4 walls, and each other. That's what they had.
וכבר אחרי שבוע, ידעתי על עומר הכל, כבר אחרי שבוע שאנחנו לא מפסיקים לדבר, אנחנו יודעים הכל אחד על השני, אני יודע הכל על המשפחה שלו. אני ועומר היינו שם עוגן אחד בשביל השני. אני יכול להגיד שהייתי פצוע ברגליים, והם לא עשו משהו כדי לחבוש לי את הרגליים. עומר הוא זה שהיה חובש לי את הרגליים במשך כל החודשיים האלה.
And they had each other there. They were each other's anchor. And when one was down, the other was there to cheer him and lift him. And Itay was wounded in both of his legs, and nobody came to check on Itay. Omer was the one that came and cleaned his wounds and changed his bandage every 2 days. And they really became, after like 2 days, they became best friends. They knew anything about each other, each other's family, each other's friends, each other's hobby. They really talked about everything.
ואני ועומר היינו בכמה דירות. אני ועומר עברנו מדירה לדירה, מחופשים לנשים, בשביל שהצבא לא יזהה אותנו.
And they were moved from one place to another. They moved several apartments in those 2 months, and they were dressed as women. They gave them dresses and hijab, so the IDF won't recognize them while they walked them on the street.
ואני חושב שהקושי הכי גדול שהיה שם זה אחרי חודש שכבר לא קיבלנו יותר מדי אוכל, והאוכל שהגיע אלינו כבר לא היה מספיק, זה היה בערך 500 קלוריות ליום, ואם יש משהו שאני לא מאחל לאף אחד, זה רעב לאורך תקופת זמן ממושכת.
And after less than a month, they started receiving a lot less food. They received 500 calories a day, and they had to share it between them. And the water was very little. And Itay says that if there is one thing that he won't wish to anyone is to be hungry for so long, all day, all the time. And it was very hard for them.
אבל גם על המעט אוכל, בסופו של דבר, ידענו להגיד תודה. תודה שיש לנו את המעט ולא כלום. למדנו באמת להגיד תודה, כי מה שהניע אותנו לאורך כל החודשיים האלה זה האמונה.
But they always say thank you. They were so grateful about everything that they got because they really believed that it could be even a lot worse, and it could. So even when they got that very little food, it was very disgusting, they would say, God, thank you about what we have. They always appreciated what they got. And there was one thing that was always with them through all that time was faith and belief, and they trusted God so much. And that's what gave them more strength and power to keep on going.
והיה משפט שליווה אותנו לאורך כל התקופה הזאת, עוד קצת, עוד טיפה. ולאורך כל התקופה הזאת לא הפסקנו לדבר על דבר אחד, על כמה אנחנו מתגעגעים לקידוש ביום שישי עם כל המשפחה שלנו.
There was one sentence that they always said to each other, like 30 times a day, that's ot ktsat ot tipa. It's a little bit more, a little bit longer. Eventually we'll be home, don't worry. Every time one was sad or cried about something, the other told him, don't worry, a little bit more, a little bit longer. Eventually we'll be home. They always talked in a positive way because words are action. When you talk about something so much, eventually it will happen. You have to believe it. And there was one thing they kept on talking about through all that time that they were there, and it was Shabbat dinners, how much they miss doing Shabbat dinner, how much they miss sitting around the table, all the family together, eat the food that their mom made, and bless and drink the wine and do the mozi. And they kept on talking how much they missed it because it was the one thing that made them feel a lot closer home to be, as a Jewish person. It's the thing you miss the most.
ויום אחד השורש שלנו נכנס עם אוכל, ובפעם הראשונה הוא מביא לנו מיץ ענבים. וברגע שהוא מביא לנו מיץ ענבים, אני ועומר מסתכלים אחד על השני, ויש משפט שאומר, נסתרות דרכי השם. הוא שמע אותנו, הוא מקשיב לנו, הוא שם לנו מיץ ענבים על השולחן. והמיץ ענבים הזה ליווה אותנו כל יום שישי. היינו לוקחים שלוק קטן מהמיץ, היה לנו שקית של בייקלה, והיינו עושים המוצי עם המלח. וכל יום שישי אני ועומר היינו עושים קידוש, וזה מה שגרם לנו קצת יותר להתקרב למשפחה שלנו. וזה סימן מהקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא פה, שהוא איתנו, הוא שומע. ובאמת, הרגשנו שהוא איתנו.
And after a week that they just kept on talking about Shabbat dinners, one of the terrorists, he came in with the food, and for the first time, he came in with a bottle of grape juice. And Itay and Omer, they looked at each other and they said, wow, God's ways are mysterious. He heard us. He heard how bad we wanted, how much we needed, and he somehow gave us this grape juice. And they had a bag of pretzels, and in the bottom of the bag, it was salt, so they used it to do the motzi. And every Friday, every Shabbat dinner, they would sit together. They would take a little sip out of the grape juice so it lasts for long. And they would pray, and they would bless on the food that they had, and they would say that the next kiddush, the next Shabbat dinner will be at home. And they felt again like he's here, he's hearing us, he wants us to be with such a big and amazing belief and faith. And they said that it felt amazing that in the most horrible place, the lowest place where people hate you only because you're Jewish, you are able to do Kiddush, you are able to bless, you are able to do Shabbat dinner as much as you can. And they felt a lot closer to Israel, to their families, and it was the one thing that kept them on going. And after Itay was released, I can say that this grape juice lasted for Omer for another 8 months, and every Friday he used to do Kiddush with that grape juice. So it was, again, one of the stories that they felt like God is with them, God is listening to their prayers.
That's incredible and powerful, the way that faith sustained you and tradition really got you through those very difficult times. Maya, I'm curious if you can share for us what daily life in Gaza was like for you.
So I can say that on the first day they brought me to the same place where Itay and Omer were, but after they put me there, and after 5 minutes they just took me out of the room and put me on another floor. We were in the same building but different floors, and I stayed there for 5 days alone. I was very scared. I felt like I have no one. They were so close to me but so far because I couldn't see them or talk to them. And after